In the academia's early years, researching ancient mechanisms meant deciphering numerous documents. So even though Faruzan is a Haravatat scholar, her mastery of runes led her to become one of the pioneer scholars in the field of ancient mechanics. But as the academic world progressed over the course of a century, Faruzan's dedication to this field was buried beneath the sands of time, just like her unusual fate.
I'll hang out with you youngsters.
Although she may look young, Faruzan is an experienced Haravatat scholar and mentor with a robust research background. Her control over the power of Anemo grants many new potential uses to her ancient trinkets. Researching mechanisms and solving puzzles is a hands-on process, and one which has taken Faruzan all across Sumeru. Faruzan gains increased rewards when dispatched on a 20-hour expedition within Sumeru. Faruzan's normal attack can combo up to 4 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage. With a charged attack, Faruzan executes a more precise aimed shot that deals increased damage. While aiming, mighty winds accumulate on the arrowhead, and a fully charged arrow will deal Anemo damage. Casting Faruzan's elemental skill deploys a polyhedron device, dealing AoE Anemo damage and causing her to enter the Manifest Gale state. In this state, Faruzan's next fully charged shot will consume the Manifest Gale and turn into a Hurricane Arrow. This arrow deals Anemo damage based on the damage of her fully charged normal attack, Parthian Shot. The Hurricane Arrow will apply a pressurized collapse effect to the enemy or character hit. This effect will be removed after a short delay, creating a vortex that deals AoE Anemo damage and pulls in nearby objects and enemies. If the arrow does not hit any enemy or character, it will create a pressurized collapse effect at its point of impact. The vortex damage is considered elemental skill damage.
Truth repeats its course.
Unleashing her elemental burst, Faruzan deploys a dazzling polyhedron that releases a whirlwind pulse and deals AoE Anemo damage. While the dazzling polyhedron persists, it will continuously move along a triangular path. Whenever it reaches a corner of that triangular path, it unleashes a whirlwind pulse. The Whirlwind Pulse will apply Prayerful Wind's benefit to all nearby party members, granting them an Anemo damage bonus. When the pulse hits an enemy, it will apply Perfidious Wind's Bale to them, decreasing their Anemo resistance. After unlocking the talent Impetuous Flow, when Faruzan is in the Manifest Gale state created by her elemental skill, the charging time of her aimed shot is decreased, and she can apply the Perfidious Wind's Bale effect to enemies hit by the vortex created by pressurized collapse. As a veteran of academia, Faruzan never hesitates to impart her wisdom to the future generations. After unlocking the talent Lost Wisdom of the Seven Caverns, when characters affected by Prayerful Wind's benefit deal Anemo damage to enemies with a normal, charged, or plunging attack, or an elemental skill or burst, they gain the Hurricane Guard effect, increasing the damage dealt by a certain percentage of Faruzan's base attack. Hurricane Guard can be triggered only once within a set duration, and the effect is cleared after Anemo damage is dealt. Faruzan is unfazed by the fact that her field of research is now considered outdated. On the contrary, it has inspired new grit and determination. Faruzan starts battle by casting her elemental skill and quickly firing a Hurricane Arrow to deal Anemo damage to the enemy. The arrow's pressurized collapse effect then pulls in nearby enemies, providing support to her teammates. When energy is full, Faruzan unleashes her elemental burst to deploy a dazzling polyhedron. This device moves over the battlefield, creating whirlwind pulses and decreasing enemies' Anemo resistance, which effectively increases the team's Anemo damage. Make the most of Faruzan's carefully researched dazzling polyhedron, and the rest of the battle will be a breeze. Time is a relative concept and is perceived differently by different people. 100 years is the longest life most people could imagine. Small wonder that they are fascinated by the idea of someone disappearing for this long, only to return looking not a day older than when they left. To Faruzan, those 100 years were physically exhausting and mentally taxing, yet she balks at the idea of seeking sympathy or being the topic of other people's conversations. Only convincing the academia's new enrollees to address her as Madam gives her experience some meaning. But if you ask me, age isn't much of a qualification. After all, time never really stops flowing. And although ancient wisdom should be respected, how long would it really take to erase it all?